going to finish our jump animation. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into finishing this off. So looking at what we had in the last lesson, we set up all of the blend trees and everything, and whenever we hit the space bar, nothing's happening. And then after we jump once, it's not allowing us to jump again. Now the reason for that is because of the script that we've already built, and we built that in Volume 2 during the character prototyping. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. The line that's causing the issue is right here. We're saying grounded is equal to the physics2d.overlapping circle. So what is the object that this is affecting? What information are we passing in? Well, we're passing in the ground check dot position, and that is the object that's at the bottom of our character's feet. We're creating a circle around that position of a radius. Okay, so it's creating a circle at the radius here, and that's, I believe that's at point 2. And then we're telling it what the ground is. Okay, so that's a layer mask. So we don't have any of this set up any longer. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to Unity. And we don't have a 2D collider that can affect that ground check. So let's go ahead and select our character. Let's hit F so we can zoom in on that a little bit easier. And I'm going to go to Game Object and create a new one. And let's go ahead and give it a name. We're going to call it Ground Collider underscore 2D. Let's give it an icon so we can see it very easily. And we're also going to set it on the midground layer. All right. So with that set to the midground layer, we wanted to take a look at our character and the character movement. And you can see here that we've set that layer mask to midground. So that's why we wanted to set that character or that ground collider 2D to that. Go ahead and select that ground collider 2D. Let's make sure that its Z is set to 0. And then the X and Y can be anything that we want. We can place that anywhere. I'm going to go ahead and put it right about here, so that way I can see that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a component. We're going to add the Physics 2D component, and we're going to add a polygon collider. Now you'll notice that it creates a collider in a pentagon shape, and we can make adjustments to the shape of this collider by holding down Shift. And you'll notice as we hover over the vertices of this collider, we can select those, and with our left mouse button we can click and hold, and we can drag that point around. So let's take this point right here, and I'm going to go ahead and drag it right up here to the top of this cliff, just like so. Hold down Shift, grab this one, and let's pull it down to the bottom here. And then we're going to take this one, we're going to drag this all the way to the back, right about here. And then we'll take this last one right here, and we'll pull that all the way over. Now I want this one to kind of be at the bottom of the tree trunk, so right where the character is going to be coming out. I'm going to go ahead and put it right about there. And then I'm going to go ahead and drag this up to where that line is pretty much straight across. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it could be fairly close. Let me go ahead and move this across to right about here. Okay, so it should look something kind of like that. So now that that is on the midground layer, our player should be able to recognize that, and it should say that it's grounded. So if I hit play, you'll notice that an animation is playing on our character, and this is the wrong animation. This should not be like this. It's appearing as though the character is not actually grounded, but he is grounded. And how can we tell that? Well, let's select the character, go to the character movement, and it says that it's grounded, but it's acting as though it's not. So there's something that we've messed up in our animator. Let's go to the base layer, and let's check this transition here. You see this transition, it says is grounded, and we have it set to true. We don't want that to be true. If the character is not grounded, that means that we're going to go into the airborne. That means we're no longer in that idle position. So let's set that to false, and then let's set this one to true. All right, so now you can see the animation is looking correct. So now if I hit the space bar, you'll notice that the character is jumping. Okay, we've got that nice little animation. Now we've got a little bit of a lag there in the jump. Okay, it's not quite getting to that amount that I'm looking for. So what we want to do is go ahead and double click on our airborne front to go to the blend tree and start to make some adjustments to these values. So it looks as though it's not reaching this first animation, and it's not getting there fast enough. So let's go ahead and give it a value of 8. Okay. Let's hit the space bar and you'll see that that looks a little more natural. Okay. Now if I double jump, that looks really good. Okay, so we're getting there very quickly and it's playing that animation. Okay. So now if I run, I can jump. Okay. And just not quite getting there. So what we'll have to do is just play with these values a little bit more. So we're getting that jump. And I don't know if it's really giving us the speed that we're looking for. Let me go ahead and move this over. And by the way, I went ahead and tore off the animator view and placed that below the scene in the game because I knew we were going to need this anyway. But let's take a look at this. Let's hit the jump on this. Let's grab our character Ghost Knight so that way we can see everything being updated here in the animator. If I hit the space bar, you'll notice that it's going through those blends, but it's barely getting to that jump front there. Okay, and let's take a look at the value that we're getting. It looks like the top value is around 9, so we should be fairly close. So 10 should be good. Getting a nice jump there, but it's just not the right speed that I'm looking for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into my character, go to my character movement. I'm going to bump up my jump speed. Let's go ahead and do like 800, and let's hit play. And you'll see that that jumps up really quickly. And the value that we're getting is closer to 15 or 16. So on that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to come in here and let's take a look at our blend tree. Let's do 16 on that. Jump. That seems to be a little closer to what we were looking for. And we could come in and we could probably make some adjustments to this. Let's go ahead and set that to something like 2. So we'll make that jump there. There we go. So here you can see how playing with the values can really help make your animation a little more fluid. Now it might take a little bit more tweaking, but I think we're fairly close to what we need. Now what I want you to do in between lessons is I want you to take what you've learned in the past couple of lessons with the airborne, and I want you to create the opposite blend tree for the airborne back. And it's going to be the exact same steps, setting up your motions, and then placing in the correct animation fields, and then plug in these exact same values for that back. Now I'm going to have this set up for you in the next lesson so we